Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be building an AMD Ryzen 7 5700G. So I'm excited for this one. This is going to be good. And I didn't buy a GPU today, but that's why I want to try this one out. I want to see what this one's like with Cold War and Vanguard and just see how it does overall. So the motherboard that I'm going to be using with that is going to be the Gigabyte B550 AORUS Pro AC. Now, it's not compatible with Ryzen 5 3400 or the Ryzen 3 3200, but it should be compatible with the Ryzen 7 5700G. I'm just going to be putting in 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM from HyperX, and then we're going to be powering it with a Corsair 650 watt and fully modular. And for an SSD, I wasn't able to pick up an M2 one in time, so I just have this 500 gigabyte WD Blue SSD that we'll be using for storage, and then I'll eventually add an M2 to put in there, probably a terabyte, but I'm not worried about that right now. And for the case, we're looking at the Thermaltake V200 TG. It's got 3 fans, RGB, that kind of stuff, so we'll look at that and see what that looks like. Okay, so here's the motherboard, and I picked this one because I wanted something that I could upgrade over the next couple years, and so this was important, having a couple different M2 slots and having enough RAM that I could upgrade over the years. It's got PCI 4, PCI 3, and I also needed something that could run Ryzen. And this one also had Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is also important. Okay, so this comes with a stock fan, which is stock cooler, which is really all I'm going to use for now. I have my PC in a basement at all times, and it's fairly cool down here. I might upgrade later to different cooler, but here's the CPU, pretty straightforward. Comes with a cool sticker we can throw on there after. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in, kind of see it on there, the Ryzen. So they have little triangles, triangle here and triangle on here, and that's what we're going to line up on this. So I got to open this up first. Okay, so that's on there. Be very careful not to okay, that should just drop in pretty smoothly. Okay, I'm going to snap this down. There we go. Okay, so we got our CPU in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove these. So these Wraith coolers come pre-applied with thermal paste, so I'm not going to be putting extra thermal paste on. If this was a 5-year-old cooler, I definitely would be doing that, but I'm going to be monitoring it. If I need to take it off and add some later, I will, but it should be okay right out of the box. So I'm going to put that on like that. Now, I forgot to record when I put my RAM in, and I probably would do this before putting the cooler on, but I did notice it was very, very close to my fan. But I'm going to tighten up, be careful that not to put it too close, but it actually seemed okay, but just be mindful of that, that your RAM fits with that. And of course, a different cooler might fit different, but we're going to put on the fan connector here, and should be good to put it in the case now. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this has 3 RGB fans on the front. Pretty good size case, and on the top here it does have some different USB 3.0, USB 2.0s, headphone jack, all those different things like that. But it comes with 3 fans installed on the front, and we have 1 fan installed on the back. So if you look at the back here, so we got a bunch of LEDs, we've got a couple trays in here, and then inside this as well, a bunch of screws, bunch of zip ties, a little thing for a speaker, and yeah. Okay, so we opened the Corsair. So inside we got our PSU RM650X, which is great. And then came with a power cable, a little baggie that came with obviously all the cables that we need, and little zip ties, screws, put everything together. So just to show you quickly what's on the back of the motherboard. So you got a couple different USB 2s, 3s, 3.2. There's USB-C, 3.2 Gen 2. Got Wi-Fi, HDMI, and of course your Gigabyte LAN and all those different things. So, but this is the back of the motherboard. Now, I wasn't able to record. I didn't like the angles I had set up and things like that for putting in the motherboard and putting an SSD and a 1 TB hard drive in. But pretty straightforward. You can see all the different plugins. This wasn't my first build, but if it's your first build, just follow the instructions in the manual for the motherboard. It'll tell you where to put things in, and just take your time. Be very careful with everything. But I would highly, highly recommend a fully modular power supply. It's so much easier. It's way better for cable management and more room. But so here's what the final build looks like, and yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be testing the Ryzen 7 5700G with games like Cold War and Vanguard, see how it does. And also making some more videos, how-tos, and computer building, things like that over the next little while. So consider subscribing.